Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Jason Fisico from FizziMedia.com. Jason, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
Yeah, so I started out in the digital marketing space. I worked for some people for free, and that was how I got to learn a lot of the things that I know now. I eventually went on to work for some prestigious agencies and did some freelancing. Fast forward to a couple of years later, I produced over $100 million for my clients, and that was before I even started Fizzi. And so now Fizzi we have all these different people that I've worked with in the past who now make up the team, and we're just crushing it for a lot of service-based businesses.
That is awesome. I'm sure the longer version of that story could probably be in a book somewhere if it isn't already. Probably. Now, what is your definition of a service-based business?
So service-based business, the bulk of how they produce revenue is through a service. And for us specifically, it's really more so online services, right? So the bulk of who we've worked with are coaches, consultants, anyone who does some sort of like a high ticket B2B service. So that's kind of the space that we're in.
Awesome. Over $100 million in revenue generated, 27,000 calls, 500,000 leads. It feels like magic. Sign me up for that. So talk a little bit about the way your process works and how you've been able to create such amazing results.
For sure. Yeah. So when there's 4 elements of a process, the first 3 sound very familiar. A lot of people try to do that. But the 4th element is the secret sauce. So 1, right, we do all the ad creatives ourselves, and then we manage your ads, right? That's Facebook, Google ads. For some people, it's Microsoft and TikTok, right? We send all of that traffic in volume to any sort of sales funnel, right? And a lot of people, they have these beautiful sales funnels, but they just don't convert. We do it a whole lot differently. So we have the ads, we have the sales funnels, and then we have the back-end email SMS automations. And we believe that all 3 of those elements need to be done by one team cohesively because of the 4th element, which is the secret sauce. Element number 4, copywriting. And that is by far the most important aspect of our team and where we spend the most in terms of payroll. Copywriting, if you have the best people on board to do the research and know everything there is about your target audience, the copy and the messaging alone is the secret sauce to any sort of marketing. You have ugly ads, ugly landing pages, like ugly email templates, but the copy is going to be the one thing that gets the results. So when you combine all the above and it's done by one team cohesively, who's always on the same page, that's why we're just crushing it compared to any of our competitors.
That is awesome. And I love that the messaging is the secret sauce. You've worked with some of the household names in the business. Can you give us an example of this is a company that hired you, kind of what they were struggling with, and then that magical transformation you were able to, engineer for them?
Yeah, for sure. So I give this example a lot. There, we have plenty of examples, but one of the ones that we are like very, very happy about is, so we worked with this Amazon automation company. They, they were really struggling before. They tried other agencies, and they just couldn't sell their packages, right? And their packages, essentially, they're going to build you a store, they're going to manage it for you, and they're going to scale it, and then they're going to do a profit share. All you have to do is pay anywhere from 60 to 100,000 a month. Sorry. 60 to 100,000 one-time payment. Sorry. So, and they were struggling to sell it. So we looked at everything. We looked at, okay, here's the funnel that they have. Here are the platforms that they've tried running ads on. And so we quickly looked at, okay, so clearly only a small percentage of Americans can even afford this, right? So we need to quickly weed out people based on income, and we need to also quickly weed out people based on any other parameters that we have. So we saw, okay, 35 plus men is like who was actually a serious candidate, but above that, we have to make sure that they can even afford this. So we did something completely unconventional. We showed the price up front. We told people, if you don't have $60,000 in cash or lines of credit, like please don't even fill out your information. Don't even opt in. Don't give your name, don't give your email. We don't want that. We told them that up front. We said, hey, Google search, and we're going to look for people who are searching for these things, who are 35 plus men, but also we tell them the price up front. We had a 6-figure launch on their relaunch, essentially, doing this, and so like it was such a big success, and then the weeks after that, like we had like another couple sales come in. So it's not always about, like, what a lot of people do is they look at these templatized like ads and funnels, and they think, oh, like, well, this guy has a lot of success. If we run it that way, we'll have a lot of success too. You have to read between the lines. And again, the one thing that saved us is the messaging. Like the messaging was, hey, you need to have this much money. We also looked at the data, and it said, hey, most of the actual clients are like family businesses, brother and sister, father and mother. So we said, hey, invest as a family, retire as a family, right? Like, and then partner with your brother. Like we said things like that, and it was just like instant, like so many conversions. And yeah, and another really cool thing too was what it costed us to get a call from someone who had the cash on hand. We had people who had like $500,000 in cash. What it cost us to get them was $166. That was the average.
I was gonna say that's a great cost per lead of someone that high quality.
That's how good it was. So it wasn't just like, oh, like we paid like $5,000 to get these guys. It's like, no, we paid really cheap like money for this.
That is absolutely awesome. That's a great success story. What had been some of the biggest mistakes you've seen clients make?
So some of the mistakes that clients make are like they will ignore the data, and they will say, hey, like these ads are a lot prettier, or we really want to say this in our ads, and they will almost like try to override the team and say, hey, like we want to say these things, or we want to use these tools. But there's enough data to support that, what we're doing or what has been done in the past actually works better. And like that just happens all the time, right? Because I told you, the number one way that people can turn around their marketing is by having good copywriters. So right there and then, if you're not looking at the data and you're just saying, hey, we want to say these things, whatever you want to say, like that may not be the best thing to say. And the data proves that.
That makes a lot of sense. It seems like there's a new social network or a new app on a regular basis. You've obviously got AI taking over the marketplace and all kinds of tools. Where do you see, the puck going in the next 6 months?
So I have a lot of controversial views in terms of AI. I think it'll always be fun to say. Like I think AI is great for expediting things like research or ideas or just like, quick headline ideas. But you'll still always need a copywriter. No matter how automated advertising can get to a certain point, you still need a copywriter to overlook things and know historically what has worked and what is working now. Um, it's always good to test like all these different things and at a small scale. But ultimately, I'm not seeing that much of a change in what we're needing to do based on current data and past data.
That's
It's not happening as fast as people say it is.
right. The future's here, just not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. What talk a little bit about the makeup of your team.
Could you say that again? Sorry.
Talk a little bit about the makeup of your team, the folks who are on working for you, working with you.
Yeah, for sure. So we go big on our copywriters, right? Like so we have actually two copywriters and we go really big on them. And then aside from that, we have essentially a line of like really good contractors instead of employees. And that's another controversial view that I have. When you want a rock star team, um, the truly world-class talent, you'll never be able to afford their monthly salaries. And even if you could, there's always that chance that they would have other clients because like truly world-class media buyers, copywriters, funnel builders, um, those guys are really in demand. They're not marketing themselves. They're being hit up by all these really big competitors. So that's why it's best to go with them. And even if you have them for like part-time, right? Like you're able to capture the talent of someone who's really good. And if they're only there for like, say, if one contractor is there for like 2 hours a day, that's 2 hours of world-class work. And the results are like you just can't argue them. They're able to turn things around so fast because just 30 minutes at looking at a client's like landing pages or ads or anything, and then also looking at the data, they're able to be like, oh, we just need to fix this, right? And then we can turn things around so fast. And so that's basically how the team works.
That's awesome. And then how are you bringing folks in the door? How are clients finding you?
Yeah, so we're actually getting ready to launch our own ads, but ultimately we have well, really more so four clients that have routinely been referring so much business to us for two reasons. One, the service is actually that good, right? They want their buddies in the network to have the same kind of service. But then two, we also have a really strong referral program where we give reoccurring commissions. So those two alone have like given us more than enough business that it hasn't made sense for the longest time to even advertise, because we've found that even with adding people into our team and our offering, we haven't been able to keep up with the referrals alone because of just how much is coming up. And it's come to the point too where we're not just saying yes to everyone. In fact, we're saying no to most people that come in as a referral.
What does it take to be a client of yours? What do you need to hear to want to say yes?
So number one, they have to be nice and respectful on the call. So whether they're speaking with me or someone on my team first, they have to be nice and respectful. That's number one. Because like we've had in the past where clients will come in and they're like cussing at our team and think it's okay to just be disrespectful. Like we have enough demand that we don't need to take that kind of disrespect. We want to work with people who are like, like they're kind, they're compassionate, and they're genuinely just trying to grow a business. Number two, we want people um, who genuinely have a service of some kind that is actually helping people. And we see through that very quickly, especially in our onboarding process. There was one time we had a client in the onboarding process where once we were like really onboarding them, we figured out, wait a minute, so you're not actually helping people. You're just selling this in volume. And without directly saying yes, they admitted to that. And we told them, hey, you know what? I'm going to give your money back. because long term, we're not going to be able to make money if someone's like not being very honest. And we're in the game of, we want to be with someone like 10 years, right? Because the longer people stay with us, the longer we can grow. So that's not something that we want. And then of course, number three, they have to be willing to spend like a healthy amount on ads. So on average, like if they can't out the gates start spending like 5,000 a month on advertising, they're probably better off not spending money on advertising at all. And I say that kindly, because the reality is, when you're advertising, there's a whole lot of different things to test at once. And if your budget is smaller than that, it could take you a really long time for that advertising to really, really make sense and be profitable and scalable.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
What I like best? I'd say probably the best thing is being there in and out with my team, and then like bouncing ideas, because I hire some of the smartest people who know way more than me. And I just learned so much just by speaking to my team. That's the best part by far.
Awesome. Well, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our folks watching and listening who want to learn more about you and what you're doing, where is the best place for us to send them?
Best place to go is fizzimedia.com. That is Fizzi media.com.
Awesome. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Jason Fisico from fizzimedia.com. Jason, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening, and we will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.